Good morning and welcome to my podcast, How to Fight CPS. And of course, hang on to your children. Keep your children. Get back your children. You have to be a fighter with this agency. They're very corrupt. They are they're very bad. This is a live podcast from Southern California. I'm broadcasting on YouTube. And I have StreamYard as my application. And I want to thank you all for joining me. Hi, Faye. Good morning, Faye. Boy, you're very punctual right there. You must have got the notification. Danielle's my co-host, is not here, but she says she's coming. So trying to text her and see if she'll come on. Okay. Let me get over the housekeeping, tell you how you can interact with this podcast. One way to do it is to text a comment to me. That's really easy to do on YouTube. They have a comment section. You can text me a comment about your CPS question that you may have, or comment, or a problem you have with CPS, or maybe your friend's having trouble with CPS, or you want to know what CPS is about. Please show your name, city, state, or country, and be complete with your CPS case. It's very important. That way I can understand the whole situation. And the people in the room that are my followers can help, and I can help, and we'd love to help. That's what it's all about, is helping one another. I've been in CPS, been fighting for 14 years. 3 years, they stole 3 of my 6 children. I'm a family man. I'm a father and a husband of 32 years. And I really like to help you with my experiences. It was just devastating to me. They lied, they cheated, they weren't transparent, they're deceitful, they're very revengeful. Oh my goodness, I don't know how. I hate telling anything negative about anything in life, but the CPS system is really corrupt. It's all about money. It's a $50 billion business, and they take $20,000 per child per month that they spend your taxpayer dollars on. It's ridiculous how much money they make. And I know this firsthand experience. I dealt with them firsthand. I fought with them in the trenches. I fought without an attorney. I tried to fight with a court-appointed attorney. That didn't work. I had to get a real attorney, a dependency law attorney. But anyway, I'd like to hear about your case. I know I mentioned country because we've had several countries call in about their CPS system in their country and how it has played havoc. And I'm here to help all the people in the world, all 50 states and all the countries that need help. Um, it isn't out there. It isn't easy to find. I know that finding an attorney is hard, especially if you have to pay for one because of a retainer fee, but it's worth every dime. I had to sell my home uh, to get money to pay my attorney to get my kids back. So my family comes first, and so that's what I did. So please text in your comment. I'd love to hear from you. Um, and just show your name, city, state, or country, and then be complete with your case. Now, another way is if you want to talk live. Um, you can call in at 626-698-0990. And I'll make sure that is on. Let me see. Okay. Calls. It's fine. Okay, so that part's on. And then my sound is on. And okay. Good morning, Faye. How are you? Oh, echoing here. We're in sequence, aren't we? I feel better today. It's unbelievable how a couple days of rest can get your body back to normal, I guess.
Yeah.
How's your son?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
He's doing okay. I've been having a lot of behavioral issues with him lately, but we're okay.
Yes, the sons do go through a cycle like that. I had the same issues with my son. So he's 24 now, or is he? Yeah, he's 24. And
yeah, mine will be 23 in 18 more days.
Well, it's sadly to say my son had a breakdown in his last year of college. I don't know if it was due to CPS bugging him or whatever it was, but he'd been out of the system since 2017 December. He was allowed to come back in when we won our case, but since then, he's finished his last year of high school, 2018, and in the fall of 2018, he entered college. And he got his apartment. I mean, I really helped him because he got all these financial aids. So I didn't have to financially, pay too much to help him out. And of course, I've been pretty much strapped with funds because I sold my home to pay the attorney. But he went through a really rough time during that COVID. They weren't socializing, and he had a roommate, and the roommate and them were not talking. I don't know what it was, but he was having a hard time in school. He started off in engineering, robotic engineering, and he switched to computer science, I think it is. And he wanted to do something with AI. Originally, his plan was to be a astronaut, work in the space industry. Not necessarily an astronaut. He just wanted to be something connected with Mars, which I thought was cool. And so I support him on that and stuff. But then in December, I want to say 2 years ago, um, uh, he wanted to come home. Um, I mean, I offered him to come home, and maybe it was a big mistake because I loaned him a lot of money, and lately he hasn't thought about paying it back, but he's going to, I guess. I don't know. He started off first doing so, but he just was. He's not been the same. He has not been. My family has not been the same with the child protection.
I mean, nobody's family is the same when they come out of this mess.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
it is.
with,
It is.
with
Yeah.
my case, like with my situation, after what happened with CPS, my health went downhill. I went
Yeah.
from being relatively healthy to being not healthy at all. And it was due to all the stress. Stress will kill a person.
Yes, I agree. I
You know,
agree. That's one thing
and
we have to be careful about. When we're fighting CPS, is our anxiety and our stress. It's so much heavy there.
well, it's almost impossible to not be anxious or stressed because they purposely do things to make you stressed and anxious.
Yes,
So,
I agree.
it's impossible. It's a given thing when you're dealing with that agency. And then on top of that, then you get a kid home that they have absolutely emotionally destroyed, not to mention things happen to them when they're in care.
Yeah.
And you have to deal with the aftermath of all that.
Well, you're a remarkable woman because I know your story, and it's really amazes me that you're on even keel. I mean, it's hard. I mean, I didn't think. I mean, I was 65 when they stole my children, and that was hard enough at that age. Now I'm 74, and I feel like I have to start my life all over again. I have to find a career job again, and I got to buy my first home again. I mean, I bought in 3 or 4 homes, but now it's all lost. Everything I amassed is gone except for my retirement, from Social Security, and that is not enough. That does not. Where I live, it's too expensive. Where I live in California, there's no question. I mean, that's why.
In Kentucky.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, in Kentucky, it's just as bad.
Yeah. Well.
So
I must be living in the right area because Donald Trump's coming to my backyard today, and they've closed off Newport Beach and so forth, and I'm a little above that. So he comes here for the fundraising. So, oh, good. We got Danielle finally showed up.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, she finally.
Awesome.
Yeah, welcome, Dan. Well, I put her on, and then she disappeared.
Oh.
Anyway, I'm glad to have you. This is Faye for all you listeners out there. She's a single mother trying to raise her 22-year-old son, correct?
Yeah, he has just multiple disabilities.
Yes, he's special needs. He's a special person, and they're special needs child. Well, Danielle will try again. Let me know. I'll wait till she stabilizes before I add her. You tell me when you're ready, Danielle. Okay. Well,
Oh,
my.
I'll have to use my tablet. It's weird.
It's okay.
Start. I'm like, I have an iPad, a tablet, and my computer sitting right here, and this is the luck right here of the draw.
Okay. Well, anyway,
so
I get Faye on the line. Yeah, you're working fine.
Okay, good.
Let's you sound like you've been on the run.
I know, yeah, because I've been mad at these devices. My electronics are not wanting to work today. So I'm holding the tablet talking to y'all. So if it moves around a lot, I'm sorry.
That's right. You make us seasick. We're talking with Faye this morning, and she is dealing with her son, his special needs, and he has some problems. We're comparing our children. I mean, our children are not that far apart. It's just that I'm older than most. I feel like I'm an ancient dinosaur here. But anyway, Anyway, I was finishing off with how to react to the podcast. I forgot the important one. I can't forget our producer. And our producer,
Our producer,
she works
she
behind the
works
scenes.
behind it.
And why am I echoing? Is that coming from you, Danielle?
I
I
don't.
don't. I was hearing my voice for a second echoing here, but that's okay.
Is it doing it
Anyway,
now?
no, it's not doing it now. So anyway, Grace, who is our producer, who helps you get onto the show and gives you links and so forth. If you don't feel like talking right now and you don't feel like doing any comments, you can schedule a later time. I'm on. We're on 14 days a week, twice a day. I mean, 7 days a week, 14 times. Well, we are on 14 times, and so it's 10 o'clock in the morning for an hour, and 7 o'clock in the evening for an hour, and it's 1 hour show. It's on Pacific Standard Time. So all you do is pick a morning show or an afternoon show. You may say if you want to be on the Sunday evening show or you want to be on the Wednesday morning show, you just tell Faye. And the way that to get a hold of Faye is by email. You do grace at vincentwdavis.com. That's grace at vincentwdavis.com. And she will help schedule you as a guest on the show. The other day, I think I had 3 of you before. We had a person from Georgia, too. I think her name was Darlene. Yep, she was on the show. And this is Danielle. She's her co host, and she's sitting here having a fun time this morning, adjusting her camera angle. And we've lost your voice, Danielle, if you can't hear me. No voice, no voice. Now you do. Now you're there. Anyway, um,
So,
I've got the podcast up. Can you put your picture up about the pink ladies, or is that hard to do?
it's hard to do on the tablet. My
Okay,
computer was working.
it's
I
fine.
could I
It's
can
fine.
show a picture from Google. I mean, I'm another device.
We have a new person here this morning. I don't
I
think I
wish I could see
recognized
the.
her. Her name is Kaylin Williams. Welcome, Kaylin. And she's from El Dorado, Kansas. El Dorado,
Wow,
Kansas.
heard nothing from Kansas. Have we?
Removed from her care over false allegations made by a neighbor. False allegations made by a neighbor. Wow, that was a layperson. That's what I hate about people like this. They're so bad. Um, they're so bad. Um, these lay people because they always make false allegations. I don't mean always, but my case was a false allegation by my in-laws. Um, how do you feel about that, Faye? False allegations by lay people.
I'm thinking that it needs to be abolished. People being able to call in anonymously.
Yes.
And most of them call anonymously. They don't even give their names.
Right. We have Ebony Charles. I think Ebony's been on before, but I forgot where you're from, Ebony. Let me see. Are you from Libya? I wonder if you're the person from Libya. I have a new country here called Libya that called in the other day. And Ebony Charles. Welcome, Ebony Charles. If you could tell me your city, state, or country that you're from, I'm glad to be there. She
See it.
is from Aboon NNE. Does anyone know where Aboon NNE is or NEE? Ebony, I know you've been on before. I recognize the symbol there. Anyway, Ebony, if you could.
Ebony. Her name's Ebony.
Okay, Ebony. Do you know where Ebony Charles is from?
No, she's been on before.
Oh, from Detroit, Michigan. Ebony.
Okay.
Yes, that's why you said Ebony. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Okay. Welcome. So now we have Georgia and Kentucky and Detroit and Kansas City. I see Kansas there. And Caitlin Williams, if you want to tell what happened with your case. I mean, your 4 children. How old are your children, and what happened? How can I help you there? Because these social workers, um, are really bad. It's a bad agency. It's a bad branch of social services. You see, the government has this uh, this branch called social services, and part of the social service is the child protection system. Every state has a different name for it. Every state has a different name for it. I know, and if you can visualize this, 8 ladies that are social workers in Pendleton, Arizona, or Prescott, Arizona. I'm sorry, Prescott, Arizona, and 2022 wore these pink T-shirts. They very proudly wore them, and on the front of the T-shirt, it said "professional kidnappers," and on the back it says, "Do you know where your children are at?" And so that was hard to swallow because they paraded around in public. They were caught. They were fired, immediately fired, including the director. And that wiped out the whole Prescott CPS system. They call themselves the Department of Health Services, DHS. And so every state has a different acronym for the child protection system. I call it just CPS, so everybody knows what I'm talking about. Okay, thank you, Faye. I understand you need to hang up. Just type in comments in case people want to call in. Sure, okay. I will switch my phone number then. Thank you, Faye.
I'll hang up.
Okay, I've hung up Faye, and now I'm going to put my phone number up. Okay. And so we've already had a caller this morning. It is easy to call and talk. I know that Danielle, has a case different to me. Why is it? Huh. Right there it is. It's echoing back from. Huh? Are you settled down now?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sitting here. Is it echoing? I wonder if it's because the fan. I was trying to see my mic.
No, you don't need to put your headset on. You're fine. You're fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Is it echoing anymore or no?
It was, but now it's not. It's not.
Okay.
So.
It's got to be the fan, like the fan, the little fan right here.
Right. Well, Ebony, I don't know what your question is from Detroit, Michigan, but I'd love to help you. And again, Kaylin Williams, I'd love to hear more. Now, if you all want to call in, it's easy to do. Faye just calls in at 626-698-0990. She's from Richmond, Kentucky. So we have a little cross representation. We have California and Georgia and Michigan and Kentucky, and we have Kansas. So we're doing pretty good here. We got a good cross reference. Mm-hmm. You do have a question. Great, Ebony. What is your question and how can we help you? How can you help you? I appealed the judge's decision. Okay. And what was the judge's decision? What was the judge's decision?
That's better. Sorry.
The foster worker is trying to get my parents to adopt my kids. Well, I don't know if that's a bad thing with your parents. At least they're not. Wait a minute. The foster worker, what foster worker? It should be a social worker. You don't want your foster people dealing with your kids. Your parents are next of kin, and that's a good sign because you'd rather have them with your parents unless they're really bad parents. he terminate your rights. You should appeal, but you should never give up your rights. Your medical rights.
Your medical rights are in.
Yeah, adoption by relatives will help keep your rights in. Thank you, Faye. Well, I know they need to be with you. The best parents are the biological parents. But if you
Mm-hmm.
let them be put in a foster care home, which is a stranger, they will get molested, they will get harmed, they will be terribly in foster care. Now, I don't know if something wrong with your parents, but your next of kin sometimes are the best things to go temporary because you'll still have your rights if they're adopted by
Unless
your parents.
her parents are against her, are they?
I don't know. Are their parents not Ebony? Are the parents not behind you or not supporting you?
Like working in another, like not in her favor, or
I'm sorry about your newborn passed away from heart failure. Ebony, I'm really sorry you lost your child. Is that one of the four? Oh, wait, that's another family there. I'm sorry. Um,
um, is that what opened up the CPS case? Wow,
I think it probably did that they had
that's
her newborn
right.
passed away from heart failure.
That's
They can't terminate your rights and then place them with relatives. First of all,
so
your rights have been terminated. You can appeal that decision. You can
they.
appeal that.
That's great. Wow. When did they terminate her rights?
Um,
Is she
Ebony, would you like to call in and talk about your case live instead of we, go piece by piece? This may take a long time. I have no idea what 4/26. That must be April 26, 24.
they just did that?
Yeah, April. Well, your clock is ticking. I don't know how many days you have to do to make an appeal, but you got one. Do you have an attorney? Do you have a dependency CPS attorney? Yeah, okay, April 26th. Ebony, can you call in? Can you call in? Danielle's a fan now, so that's good. That's a beautiful fan there. You have popcorn ceilings.
Ceilings.
Yes.
Never seen those in a long time.
Unfortunately, it's not the best. It's still have popcorn
Yeah, if you
ceiling
call
above.
in, Ebony, it'd be good. Call in. My number is 626-698-0990. Wow.
Hi, Caitlin. How are you?
Caitlin's
Back.
back again. I ended up
And
leaving an accident. Okay. Okay. Ebony says she's going to call in, so I'm just waiting for her call, Danielle.
trying to figure out how I can mirror my screen on something bigger.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I think
Okay.
it's best just to leave it as stationary as you
Is it
can.
working okay? It's doing fine?
It's doing fine now. Your voice, a couple times, my background voice that you're listening to came through somehow. That's why I don't understand, but it's okay.
It might be the fan.
There, I heard that. Yeah, my voice now is feedback.
What about now?
Okay. No, when I do the test,
Weird. Bob, that is weird. I said all I did was move. Like
good morning, Ebony.
Hello?
This is Ebony.
Yes, this is Ebony.
Oh, so glad to meet you, Ebony, and welcome. And I'm so sorry for the loss of your newborn. That is really tough. That's really, really
Thank you.
tough.
And that was the day he passed away, CPS came over my house that day and removed my children.
Now, how did they remove your children? They have a court order?
No, they came over my house that the day my baby passed away and told me I had to sign some paperwork. And if I did not sign, they would call the police. And they told me that my kids would be removed for 2 weeks. 2 weeks turned into 2 years.
Well, yeah, because what they're doing is they're illegally taking your child. First of all, they need a warrant issued by a court judge, signed by a judge, that they can take your child. You don't even let them in the home. See, most people don't know this. I didn't know this. Is that you never let people in your home. My rule number 3 is you do not talk to CPS or the police, and you don't let them in your home. And
I didn't know the day that all this was happening, that was even CPS I was talking to. It was police in my home. People were coming into my house. I'm still mind blown by the fact that my newborn just passed away.
Yeah, I'm so sorry on that. Do they say why the cause? You said it was the heart condition?
He had heart failure. He was a premature baby. He was born a little before 32 weeks. Then the attorney that I had was a court-appointed attorney. He wasn't helpful whatsoever. We never met with one another to sit down to discuss the case or what he could do to try to help this situation not turn into termination.
Right. They don't. Court-appointed attorneys have usually a caseload of 30 or more clients. They don't talk to you until the day of the hearing, and they don't fight for your case. They look for the easiest way out. They're not there to fight or solve anything. And it's a disappointment. I had a half a dozen court-appointed attorneys, and it was a waste of time. They just did nothing for you in court.
So what happened was here in Detroit, Michigan, they had my kids go over to my mom's house. My mom's husband never liked us being me and my brothers and my mother. That's where I see it. He just jumped on me a week ago.
Was he a stepdad? Was he a stepdad?
Right.
So he was not your biological father. Where was your biological father?
He has my 1-year-old, and my mother has my 4-year-old and my 10-year-old. I'm trying to appeal the judge's decision. I already went down there to make the appeal. I'm looking for an attorney. If they assign me one, but I'm still looking for one through legal aid. I'm trying to find my own attorney. I've come across 2 women, but I'm still just waiting I'm still praying for just a better outcome because my children deserve to be with me. You could tell by pictures on Facebook that they were safe. They were.
Why do you not want them to be with your mother?
I don't trust her husband.
Oh, what would her husband do, you think?
I just don't trust him. I don't trust him at all. I don't even want to think what he could do. I would rather, my mother is in her 50s, mid-50s. My father is in his early 60s. I would rather my babies grow up with me, their mother.
Well, I'm thinking it may be temporary because you put them in foster care or put them in some places not safe. Foster care is not safe. They will be molested. They will be hurt. It's not safe to put them in the foster care with a stranger. Now, you know your mother.
Right, I'm not saying a stranger. Any other family member, I would say give them back to me. There's no reason for them to do this. When my baby Bentley passed away, it was as if the CPS supervisor was looking for reasons. Oh, he has a burn on his foot. That's not a burn, that's eczema. It was as if they were trying to come up with a reason to not return my children back to me. I never had this situation ever happen to me in my life. And this all became about the day my newborn passed away. He also was affected by the Similac milk when all the babies were getting sick by Similac. So he had a lot going on by him just being a newborn baby.
Yes.
I've watched this show because it says Fight for CPS, and I'm trying to figure out any information as far as the law-wise what can I do? What can I learn? What knowledge can I get from watching this show so that I can know when I go in court how to fight back, even with an attorney?
Okay. Danielle, if you can hear me. Okay, good. You nod your head.
Yes, I can hear you. I just muted because the quality of it. It's better until I get my headset.
Yeah. It's okay.
But
Can you look up Detroit, Michigan? Find in Detroit, Michigan, a pro bono dependency attorney. Can you look that up?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, let me.
So Danielle will look at that while we're talking here.
Should I leave my email?
No. You don't do anything right now. We're just going to see what's available. We're trying to get you a list of 10 names. And from the 10 names, my rule number one is that you're going to locate the city. And if you're in a small city, you do your small city and the next biggest city. But you're in Detroit, so that's a big city. So find in Detroit, Michigan, a pro bono, which means attorney for no pay, and you want to get a dependency attorney. That is the key, the dependency attorney. And what you're going to do, hopefully Danielle will see a list of maybe 10 names. And then, she went off. So she'll be back. She has some internet problems. So you get a list, and from that list, you call them first to find out if they're still in business, all 10 people that you pick. Then you want to ask them, are they pro bono? If the answer is yes, that's good. And then you want to ask them, do they fight CPS and dependency court? Are there dependency attorneys you have on? If the answer is yes, that's great. And one other question is ask them, have they ever done a civil lawsuit against CPS? Because if they have, that's a real key, because most attorneys don't want to fight CPS. And so then you're going to get that list of 10. And then what I'm going to tell everybody is that you're going to narrow it to 5 that you can do consultations with them. And one of the attorneys I suggest is my attorney, Vincent W. Davis. And you can schedule a consultation one of 2 ways, 888-888-6582. You call in, tell them that Bob Pace sent you. And when you talk to Vincent Davis, you say that Bob Pace sent you. Also, you can go to the website, candidate.com/law offices of VWD/Bob Pace. And that it takes you right to the schedule of your attorney and so forth. So
I was trying to write what you said down. You said first call an attorney, locate an attorney.
Yeah.
Look for a free pro bono.
Yeah, make sure that, see, when you call first, the reason why you are calling first is to see if
put it in the private chat, the link.
Still in business. I saw in the private chat. I saw it, Daniel. Are you looking it up, that find in Detroit, Michigan, a pro bono dependency attorney? Have you found some?
Yes, I put that, and I put one link in there. Let me go get the other ones.
Okay, she put a link there. Let me go see. And what I'll do is I'm going to show you the link here in Detroit. Well, I'm going to put it in the chat. I just had to copy it. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, we're here to help. We know what you're going through. I've been there. Okay, it's going to show up in my 7 rooms. It's going to repeat it 7 times. It's going to show up.
Right here with a CPS defense strategy. David, Detroit lawyer.
Yeah, it's going to repeat itself, but it's DetroitLawyer.org /pro bono. Yeah, you'll see it repeat many times. Because I have these rooms that are attached to me. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rooms that people come in to those rooms. They can watch my podcast live, And so it's in there.
And when I would talk to the social worker, I was calling her the foster worker. When I would talk to the social worker, we talked a couple times over the phone. We met once, but when we got in court, she was so against me.
Well, here's the problem is
the mom, this.
Yeah, you can't.
I'm like, where did you get this information from? Because that's never nothing we talked about.
Yeah, well, see, first of all, they're going to be argumentative. They're going to belittle you. They're going to intimidate you. They're going to alienate your kids. They're going to traffic your kids. And they're going to put them in what's called a foster care system, which is a group of either a shelter, a group home, or a single-family home. And these people, they're saying they're trained, but they're not there. I'm sorry, what, Danielle?
I sent 2 more links. I put 2 more links in there.
Okay, thank you, Danielle. She's also sent me some more links here, so
this social worker name was Michelle Hicks.
Yeah, we don't want to give out names. We don't want to give out names, but okay, the social worker in Detroit. Okay, go ahead.
She was going to court saying I didn't go to therapy, and I had went to therapy. And I was talking to my therapist about getting as much documents as I can so I can prove to the judge that I have done parenting classes. I have gone to therapy. The judge never ordered me to do parenting classes nor do therapy. I did this on my own. Also, the judge, they never gave me a chance to even see my children within these 2 years. They removed they removed me from being able to see my kids. It's as if the judge is making his decisions based on what the social worker is saying, not based on what I'm saying or even considering nothing I'm saying. Then they're like, oh, her son doesn't want to be back with her. He's 10.
I understand. Now, I just sent you another link. It's the Central USA Salvation Army.org, Great Lake EBS. That can get you an attorney there, a pro bono attorney.
Okay.
So that's the second link. And again, it's repeated 7 times. Here's another one. Again, it's going to be a lot of hard work. You're going to have to spend some time. People don't usually want
those resources I sent, Bob, those links are actually, that's the most out of every state that I've looked up for the podcast. Detroit is probably the one that has the most resources for pro bono. And that, look at all them links I sent. And that, I mean, I've never seen that many resources come up. And that's a good, I would definitely check all those out, because there's some way, like, those lawyers are all about pro bono, like they even volunteer like in their offices. So those links, each one will help out.
Okay. And here's the third one here, Ebony. I am just sent you another one here. This is called the lakeshorelay.org pro bono legal services. So that's the third one. And now I'm going to give you the fourth one. Well, actually, I got
every link I'm clicking on is the same thing.
It should go to different. Well, it's repeated in my podcast. It's repeated in 7 rooms. Which you
okay, I got the second one. The second one I just received was the Salvation Army.
Yes.
And Danielle, can you repeat what you said? What you just said?
Danielle, can you repeat what you just said?
Those links that I sent, those are all something based around, like, for low income or pro bono, legal aid or legal, and those are some of them are attorneys that may volunteer their time and for you to like if you qualify for the legal aid. And that's the first I've seen that in any state that I've looked up for pro bono. So that's a good head start right there, because one of those links you should be able to get an attorney or get help or get the leadway to go somewhere, like to get you in the pathway you need to be on, to get help. but because that's the first time I've ever seen that much help in a state when I've looked up, and I've looked up New York, I've looked up a lot of them. So Michigan, I mean, I'm happy with what I see. I mean, and there's plenty more on when you look up the pro bono lawyers for child dependency in Detroit, Michigan, and I mean, there's a list of them. Like the page just goes on. So, but I would definitely like the last three that I sent. I would definitely check those out. But the very first one I sent was the bar association up there in Detroit.
Can I leave my email for Danielle?
What'd she say?
She said, "Can you leave her email for you?"
Yeah, that's me. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, you can type in the email. You can go ahead and type
Hold on. I'm gonna mute it, but let me get something else.
I just sent you the fourth link. It's called DetroitFLAC.com. So now you've had 4. I got one more. She's okay. And here's this. Well, that didn't work.
Can we talk about the things that you said I should ask the attorney once I do get on the phone with one?
Yes, we will. I haven't finished yet. I'm trying to get you your links is what I was trying to do.
Okay.
Now here's the 5th link. It's going to come through here. It's a short one. It's called ladetroit.org. So that's another link. So now I've gone 5 links to you, repeated 7 times for each link. So you should have them all. And let me take this down. Okay, now to find a attorney, and if you search it, you find Detroit, Michigan, a pro bono dependency attorney. Once you got a list of them, and you got 5 of them right there, what you're going to do is you're going to call them, and as you call them, you're checking to see if they're legit. If they answer the phone or you leave a message, they don't get back to you. You don't want to waste your time with people that are not in business. A lot of people post things on the internet and they're no longer in business, or it's a bad link or what it is. So you determine that by making the phone call. Your second part of your phone call, when you do talk to them, is say that do they have pro bono dependency attorneys? You want to use the word dependency because that's the law you're in. That's the courtroom you're in, dependency. Dependency attorneys take care of your CPS cases and children under the age of 18, the juveniles. So it's important to get that answered, and because you don't want to waste your time. So ask them if they're pro bono, if they have pro bono dependency attorneys. If they're pro bono, that means they don't charge, and dependency is the area of law that you're dealing with. Then after you get those, if you determine, one other important question to ask is that have they done civil lawsuits against CPS? And I use CPS because maybe in Detroit it's called something different. CPS, the Child Protection System, has many different acronyms in each state. But I'm talking about the branch that's supposed to protect our children from neglect and abuse and do family reunification. So if you answer them about civil lawsuit against CPS, that's something very few lawyers do. And if the answer is yes, then you got yourself a good contact. Then once you've done that, and you've done 10 calls, then I want you to do is the call You want to pick 5 or 4. You pick 4, you listed 10. Your 5th one's going to be Vincent W. Davis, and you call him in at 888-888-6582, and you tell him that Bob Pace sent you. And when you speak to Mr. Davis, again, you say Bob Pace sent you. And if you want to go to his calendar, you go to Calendly, that's CALENDY.com/law office of VWD/Bob Pace, and I'll take you to his appointment book. And he does consultations for $60 for 30 minutes. $60 for 30 minutes. And he'll gladly talk to you there. So after you talk to him, he'll tell you the strategies of how to fight your case. He'll discuss your case, but he won't probably be affordable because he does a charge for flying out there, for transportation accommodations, and for a car rental, plus his normal lawyer fees. But at least you have somebody you could talk to for $60 is good and verifiable. I mean, it's a good source to have. So after you've determined that, then you can sit down and say, all right, I've done 5 consultations. Which attorney is the best for bang for my buck? And you got to be careful. If any attorney wants to start talking about money at the early part of your conversation, just say, no, thank you, I'm not interested. The reason being is that, you don't have money, and people are very foolish because all they want to talk about money. You don't want that kind of law firm because they won't fight for you. They're more interested in the money part of things. So that's usually a good flag if someone, says, well, our fees are this or whatever it is like that at the early part of the conversation. No, you want them to hear your case out. You want to talk to that attorney and see if he has a heart and he's a fighter. There are good attorneys. There are also bad attorneys. And do not use court-appointed attorneys. They'll waste your time. And if you want to do pro se, where it means you fight yourself, you won't. I tried it. Pro se does not work for me. I had to get an attorney. I sold my house to get my attorney.
Okay.
So anyway, that's my first rule. I've said that to a lot of people. I have 3 rules, and we talked a little bit about the third rule is don't answer the door. Don't allow them in your home. Don't talk to them. It's yes, no answers. But that should help you out there. Now, with your case, I'm still trying to understand. It's your stepdad that you don't feel safe with your children. Now, how old are the children now? How old are they?
Okay, so my daughter is 4 and my son is 10. Those 2 children are with my mother. 1-year-old daughter is with my father. I have a question.
Which father? The stepfather or the biological father?
My biological father has my 1-year-old.
Why does he have him?
I'm guessing because around the time I was going through this, I was pregnant, and when I gave birth, CPS came to the hospital and said I couldn't take my daughter home. So it was no court, it was no judge that had made the decision yet about terminating my rights. They lied. They put it in the paperwork that I said I didn't want her. I didn't want my daughter, but that was a lie. They came to the hospital and said I couldn't take her home. So when Billy passed away, she wasn't born yet. I didn't even know I was pregnant with her. So when I had her, they came to the hospital, said I couldn't take her home. My dad came to the hospital to get her. That's how my dad has my 1-year-old. She was a newborn when he got her.
Now you say your dad. Is the biological father your dad also, or?
Say it again?
I'm a little confused there. You used the word your dad came and got your daughter. Now,
from the hospital.
Yeah, is that your biological father?
Right, that's my father.
Yeah. Now, is he the father of the baby? Who's the father of the baby?
The father of the baby is not in the picture right now. But
okay, what happened to him?
My biological father has my 1-year-old. That's her grandfather. Her grandfather has her.
Okay, So your grandfather.
My question to you is,
Okay.
what should my parents do? Should they go get an attorney themselves? Because it's as if whatever CPS is telling them to do, they're doing.
Well, yeah, they definitely need to get their own attorney. Sad to say is that anybody that has a legal matter has to have a separate attorney. No attorney will handle couples or handle 3 or 4 people one time. So it gets complicated in court because the children will, if they're in custody of CPS, the children will have an attorney appointed by CPS. The social workers will have an attorney. You have an attorney. If the biological father's involved, he'll have an attorney. If your mother is involved, she'll have an attorney, and your father will have an attorney. So it could be 7, 8 attorneys, which is ridiculous because all of them are making so much money. But anyway, that's how the law works.
My mother and father do not have an attorney at all. They never had one when we went to court. They never had an attorney.
Well, they would get a court-appointed one if they're involved in court.
Well, they never got a court-appointed attorney. The judge never ordered me to do anything, and I think it's a real unfair situation because I was supposed to be able to at least see my children. I never got that opportunity to see my children or bond with them during this, before the judge made his decision in April, within these 2 years. So can we speak about that?
Yeah, sure. We can speak about anything you want to speak about. I have only about 4 minutes left of my show, but I have another show tonight at 7 o'clock. I can talk to you, so that's not a problem.
Okay, I'll call in.
Yeah, that's not a problem there.
I'm in Detroit. Is our time? Is the time frame the same?
No, you are ahead of me by a couple hours. I'm on Pacific Standard Time. I think you're on.
Tonight it will be 10 o'clock Eastern, so I think she's an hour behind us, but behind Georgia. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I think she's on Central Time. I think she's
so that's
on
an hour. So hers, it'll be at 9 o'clock this evening.
Yeah, well, that's 2 hours. So yeah, she's definitely there because Mountain Time is 1 hour, Central Time is 2 hours, and Eastern Time is 3 hours. So she'll be on. I'll be on at 9 o'clock your time. So.
And then because here in Georgia it's 10 o'clock. It'll be 10 o'clock when you're on.
Okay. All right. Okay. Faye was saying something. If you don't do what CPS says to do, especially if no attorneys, CPS remove them from the parents. If they don't, you don't want that. You don't want to do what CPS is saying. They got to have court orders. Right now, I'm only saying it's best that your one child is with your grandfather, and then your other child's with your mother. So those are all good things. Those are not bad things. Because they're not in foster care. In foster care, but they shouldn't remove your custody at all. And so you need to get an attorney because they're going to keep manipulating you around. Okay.
Right. The court-appointed attorney I had, he got discharged the day the judge determined whether or not, and it's as if the social worker and her staff was pushing him around. They was making the judge make his decision. He wasn't making his decision based on him being a judge. That's what I felt as though.
Yeah, he isn't. See, you're talking about guardianship. You want to be parents.
I want all 3 of my children with my biological father. I don't want them in separate homes. Even though my mother is amazing, I would prefer all 3 of my children be with my father.
I think that's right to do that. Now you keep saying biological father. I thought he wasn't in the picture. Is the biological father still involved with you?
My biological father is involved with me. My kid's biological father is still involved, but he doesn't come to court. So I just say he's not in the picture. He never shows up for court. But my biological father is in the picture. When I say biological father, I'm referring to my father.
Okay.
My kid's grandfather.
Okay. Yeah, your kid's grandfather. Yeah. Well, he'll need to get an attorney, and you'll have to do guardianship. So they will have to do that. Okay, I got to end the show here because we're now done for an hour here, and I want to thank you for calling in, Ebony. Please call in tonight at 9:00 your time, 7:00 my time, and Danielle, stay on, and Faye, go ahead and call me. Take care, Ebony. Thank you. Okay, I want to thank everybody in the room. We had from Kansas someone new, which was good. Let me see here. It's hard because all these repeated rooms every time I put those 5 things in there. Anyway, I want to thank, it's Kaylin, I think it is, for calling in and stuff here. So please keep fighting for your kids. Don't give up. I care about you. I'll see you tonight at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. God bless y'all, and have a great day.